Greetings, YouTube, and welcome to the latest episode of the Encyclopedia Magica Volume 1, and this is going to be episode 10. Yes, 1.10. Alrighty, so let's get to our page. Let's hope the kitten doesn't notice that I have a fabric tassel. She would just love to play with. Yes, she would. Yep. I don't actually know where we were. It's been a while since I've done one of these. We're still in the A's, and we're up to the Anvils. This hope was probably not going to be a long one here. But the high anvil of the dwarves, which sounds really spiffy. They are large, elaborate, carved, and forged from an alloy of adamatite and steel. They radiate a faint aura of magic. The anvils weigh about 175 pounds, which is not all that large for an anvil, and cannot easily be moved or carried, and are often fixed or welded to the floor of the main armory of dwarven colonies. Yeah, the 175-pound anvil is not big. There are some big-ass anvils out there. It's, of course, not really a shocker that it's this thing is very valuable. They cost 50,000 gold and 50,000 monetary units, whatever your system uses, and they cost XP value of 5,000. Because remember, back in the day, you actually had to expend experience points to make magic items, which makes no sense. Get you a plus 50% to your skill level of dwarven armorers and doubles their efficiency in effectively cutting armor construction time in half. You can work at 3 times the normal rate making weapons. Non-dwarf characters or creatures who use a high anvil, a very rare event since dwarves are extremely protective of their treasures, have a 25% increase. So still pretty cool. So that would be if you look at like a skill system, that's going to be a plus 10 to your skill, or a plus 5 if you're not a dwarf, which is still pretty impressive. And of course, the speed increase is always going to be useful. But yeah, pretty straightforward. We had the Iron Anvil of the Armies. This is 1,750, worth 17,500 monetary units. It's a great black iron anvil embossed with runes of power in gold and brass. They find non-magical tasks on this uncannily easily when using this anvil. Bend swords straightened, a single tap, having lost none of their, probably sharpness? Strength, okay. Horseshoes are just the right size, and everything worked on this anvil has a little extra shine and a cleaner finish. In actual game terms, the smith works at 6 times the normal speed. That is actually pretty darn impressive. The anvil is too massive to transport except with the most elaborate methods, and using it is hard work. This smith must have a minimum strength of 15 and work only as many days in one stretch as his or her constitution score divided by 5 rounded down before resting for a like period of time. Well, in a world of magic, moving an anvil is not hard. You just cast the right kind of spell and you turn it into a fabric type object, and then you fold it up and stick it in your pocket. So no, moving anvils is not difficult. Not difficult at all. Or just shrink the darn thing or something. Or stick it into a portable hole. You get the point. It's not hard to move an anvil. And getting it now in Pathfinder and 3.5, I can't speak for 5th edition. I have not looked at 5th edition. Getting a 15 strength is not difficult. So yeah, you probably want to up that if you're going to use it in a modern era. And you can only use it for a certain number of days. That kind of makes sense. Then we have the Anvil of the Lortmill Mountains. That does not roll off the tongue. Lortmill, Lortmil, Lortmill Mountains. Yeah, okay, it's 3,000 XP, 30,000 monetary units. This is from the Greyhawk Adventures. This blacksmith tool was enchanted in the shrine of Moradin, king of the dwarven gods. It allows a dwarven weaponsmith to create extremely strong and sharp blades. Each weapon takes twice as long to create, but when finished is either a normal weapon on an unsuccessful proficiency check, or a weapon of fine quality on a successful proficiency check. All weapons of fine quality created by this anvil are worth 100 times the cost of its normal weapon at the same type. It is rumored that this anvil forged legendary magic weapons for the dwarves. There is actually very little gaming information there. You'd have to come up with what this thing does, because it should probably do something at that price, but its description is not great. So yeah, I would give it a bonus, but if you, even on a failure, your item is going to be perfectly usable. So this is like, you can't screw up on this. So for example, you roll a 1, you're still making a good item. But if you roll your successful skill check, then it's going to be automatically masterwork, and probably has a, maybe it's got more than a +1, maybe it's +2. So and maybe it lowers the cost of magicking it as well, because it's such good quality. That's how I would play that out. If you're going to have an item this big, it should have some kind of a real world effect. Then we have the apparatus section. Apparatus is an all-encompassing term used to, well, yes, it is, used to describe a machine so complex it is impossible to associate a name with its function. That would describe most computers. Other terms that could work as well are magical machine, contraption, or mechanism. Then there's one just here called the apparatus from Ravenloft. No XP, no monetary unit value. That makes everybody very, very nervous. Huge machine stands over 30 feet tall and is 20 feet wide, and at base, a glass globe 15 feet high rests upon a massive tripod made of wood and steel. What the hell does this thing do? Lightning energizes the apparatus. The steel rings on top focus electrical energy into the mother globe. To fully charge, the apparatus requires 12 lightning strikes within the span of 3 hours. Over a longer period, the charges fade. So I'm hoping you don't need real world magic that lightning strikes. You probably hope you could pull off like lightning bolts. This could be used between a transposed mind from one to, so a mind swap kind of thing. Second function acquires the Rod of Rastanon. One is placed in the glass tube connecting the 2 large chambers. Subject's personality can be split in 2. An intelligent subject must stand in one of the globes. On the 12th lightning strike, the psyche splits. A flash duplicate of the subject appears in the adjacent chamber. Physically, they are physically twins. Mentally, they are unique. As of this writing, the split was involved only good and evil, separating the dark side from the light. Other divisions may be possible. Awesome! Ever wanted to play Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Here you go. That sounds, well, it's kind of a cool device, I guess, but it's got that whole evil mad scientist thing going for it. Then we have the Alchemist's Apparatus from the Book of Artifacts. That's a long description. It's unclear whether the apparatus is a single device or a set of plans and concepts. Also using the Rod of Rastanon. Apparatus is a wonderful artifact which threatens PCs because it powers transpositions and soul-splitting strikes at the very essence of the player's character. Doesn't seem to be a lot different than the other one I just read. Just, wow! I'm wrong, because it's really long. Invoking powers. This is a very powerful item. That's like a campaign or major story arc based around kind of thing. Yeah, it's an artifact. It's like means of destruction. Yeah, that's not my kind of thing. Wow, I mean, that's like 2 solid pages of stuff. I have no memory of this item. I don't have memory of most of these things. I mean, I looked at this book once, and I played in these settings on and off for years, but it doesn't mean I knew every nook and cranny. The Apparatus of Dreadful Construction, new item. This is called new item. No reference to where it came from, just new item. And again, no XP and no monetary value. Resembles a huge iron, fully enclosed, 2-wheeled chariot lacking the front bar to which horses would be harnessed. It stands 15 feet high, 20 feet wide, and 25 feet long. It weighs a guess to be 15 to 30 tons. 3 giant metal chimneys rear from its stern, spewing sparks and flames up to 30 feet high. It's just a rolling death on wheels, literally. So it just rolls across the battlefield, destroying everything. Well, actually, it just rolls across the country, destroying everything in its path, which is, I guess, useful if you want to have that to be a story hook. You know, this thing shows up and player characters have to stop it. You know, kind of like they, of course, this being your average D&D or Pathfinder campaign, they're the ones that find it and turn it on, and then they have to figure out a way to stop it. Then we have the classic Apparatus of Kowalsk. I loved the Apparatus of Kowalsk. It's so cool. Dungeon Master's Guide, 1st edition. I found this item is a large sealed iron barrel, but it is a secret catch that opens a latch. In the end, inside are 10 levers. It basically turns itself into a crustacean you can ride around in. It becomes basically a submarine, which I've always thought was very, very cool. And it's just awesome. Extend, retract, legs and tail. Cover, uncover, forward porthole. Uncover, cover, side porthole. Extend, retract, pincers and feelers. Snap pincers. Forward, left is right. Backward, left or right. Open eyes with continual light. Inside, close, eyes. Raise, levitate, or sink. Open, close, hatch. Just so damn cool. Everybody wanted one of these. It was just so bizarre and twisted, but it was so much fun. And in fact, apparently it's not available in the Dragonlance campaign. The Apparatus of Kowalsk does not exist in Ansalon. How the heck could this break the Dragonlance setting? Explain that to me. How could this device have any impact on the Dragonlance setting? Is this because the author doesn't like it? I don't know. The Apparatus of Spiky Owns. I don't make this up. Dragon Magazine 28, 7,000 XP, 32,000 monetary units. This resembles the Apparatus of Kowalsk, except that when activated, it becomes a 10-piece one-man band renowned for its cacophony. It enrages all who hear it, including party members, unless a saving throw versus spell is made. Those who fail the saving throw will attempt to do harm to the operator until he or she can stops playing the apparatus. Of course, the owner is charmed by the device and continues to operate it. Remember how I said that everybody wanted one of those things? Well, the Apparatus of Kowalsk, this is the bite in the ass. If we wanted one and we saw an iron battle, we were going to go, it's an Apparatus of Kowalsk, until we activate it, and then everyone in our party tries to kill us. Alrighty. The next section is going to be called about apples. We'll go to apples next time. This was just a section on the bizarre and strange world of apparatuses that could be found in the Encyclopedia Magica, Volume 1. Thank you for being here. I hope that you will return for the next volume, which will be 11.